Today I effed up by trusting autocorrect in a kitchen. I was making dinner at my friend's house, feeling confident after a long day of work. I had just learned some fancy new cooking terms and was excited to try them out. That's when I made my first mistake, trusting my phone's autocorrect in the kitchen. I mean, how much trouble could it cause? Boy, was I wrong. As I chopped vegetables for a stir-fry, I narrated my actions out loud, using the posh words I'd learned. Now, I shall sauté the onions, I announced, only to have autocorrect change salt to an unspeakable word that I won't even type here. The sound of the knife against the cutting board echoed through the kitchen as I waited for a response, not entirely sure of what I had just said. My friend walked in just as I said it and stared at me in shock. Before I could explain, she asked, "Why are you planning to set the kitchen on fire?" My heart sank as I realized my phone had embarrassed me again. I felt the heat rise to my cheeks, and I quickly corrected myself, hoping she wouldn't think too poorly of me. We laughed it off, but things got worse when I started cooking the stir-fry. In my enthusiasm, I accidentally dropped a piece of chicken onto the floor. Without missing a beat, I uttered, "Voila!" The 5-second rule. Autocorrect struck again, changing 5 to an entirely inappropriate word. My friend raised an eyebrow and said, "I didn't know you were such a risk taker." I was mortified. My phone had become evidence of my clumsy cooking attempts and questionable life choices. I couldn't help but wonder what other words it might corrupt as I continued to cook. Despite the mishaps, dinner turned out great, or at least, edible. And I learned a valuable lesson: never trust autocorrect in the kitchen again. Or anywhere else, for that matter. It's just too risky. From now on, I'll stick to plain English and keep my phone far away from any conversations involving cooking. After all, there's no telling what it might correct next. And who knows? Maybe one day I'll be able to cook a fancy meal without any embarrassing incidents. But until then, I'll just enjoy the simple joys of making dinner and sharing laughs with friends. So the next time you're in the kitchen, be sure to watch your words, especially if your phone is nearby. You never know when it might become evidence of your blunders. I can only imagine what would have happened if my friend hadn't been there to witness my phone-induced faux pas. Would I have served a flambé without realizing the true meaning of the word? Or perhaps I would have tried to deep fry something that should never be submerged in oil. The possibilities were endless, and they all made me cringe. As I cleared the dishes and washed the pots and pans, I couldn't help but think about how much we rely on technology, sometimes too much. And while autocorrect can be a helpful tool, it can also lead to some pretty awkward situations. But even with the occasional mishap, I wouldn't trade my love of cooking for anything. There's something therapeutic about chopping vegetables and sautéing onions, even if I have to be careful about what words I say out loud. And at the end of the day, it's all worth it to share a meal with friends and create memories that will last a lifetime. Comment your own Today I effed up stories below.